Gospel of Peter and the infancy Gospel of Thomas. What were some of the more interesting points that stood out in those two Gospels? Jim?
Peter, it was like the Passion story where like after he's crucified from the tomb, but like the difference was in that like I think when he came out, then like angels helped him, and then like there was like a cross in the tomb.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Passion story in the other Gospels, the Gospels that are in the New Testament. Where it really starts to diverge is that when Jesus rises from the dead and comes out of the tomb, two giants are carrying him, and how tall are they?
I think it's like into like the heavens.
Well, it said that their heads reached the heavens. And then the guy they were carrying, presumably Jesus, his head reached above the heavens. So when Jesus rises from the dead in the Gospel of Peter, he's like a giant who appears. And what else appears with them?
Cross.
Yeah, like some sort of cross, like comes walking. I don't know what it looked like, but this cross walks out of the tomb behind them. The other thing that's really noticeable,
The one thing that I thought was most striking was that they exonerated Pontius Pilate from the crucifixion of Jesus, and they basically put it on Herod Antipas, right?
Yeah. The Gospel of Peter completely blames the Jews. It's really kind of anti-Semitic, and like the Jews are completely responsible. The Jews are completely responsible. Now the other Gospels do that as well, but not as much as this Gospel does. There seems to be blame for the Jews in the other Gospels, and we'll talk about that later on in the semester. But this one ramps it up a notch. It's exceptionally vehement, especially nasty towards the Jews and blaming him for Jesus' death. Right? Which is why Jews for thousands of years were called what by Christians? Anybody know the pejorative phrase used to refer to Jews? Christ killers. Any of you heard that phrase before? Christ killers? Right? Throughout the history of Christianity, that's what Christians called Jews, Christ killers. And it's not because they had read the Gospel of Peter, it's because they had read the Gospel of Matthew. But anyway. How about the infancy gospel? What stands out from the infancy gospel of Thomas? Kristen?
It talks about stories like when Jesus was a child, and there's a couple stories. One is where he got mad at his friends and killed them or something.
Yeah, this guy bumps into him while they're playing and he strikes him dead. What else does Jesus do in the infancy gospel?